Good evening. So about 2 hours ago, I've spoken with my daughters in WhatsApp as usual, and as many times happened. I mean, the Israelis are using this kind of. It's the only way I can speak with them. Maybe they hack the WhatsApp, maybe it's the hacking of the phone. But I mean, after that, I'm feeling like crushed, not mentally, just physically. They use something in electromagnetic attack. And I mean, I'm only speaking with my daughters on the phone, like on the phone, but I still I need the phone to speak with them. And every window that is left a little bit of open, I mean, they will use it to stab you in the back or to stab you in the face or whatever. So after that, I was like 2 hours, I was really crushed. And then, but now I'm kind of as they say, I suffered at me, took myself out of bed, to continue my things. First of all, I need to eat. I'm starving, so I'll prepare soup. So regarding the electrolysis, if you wonder, so mostly it's kept, continuously, online, but apart for actually several good hours that it wasn't, because the roads were just eroded, like you see now, for example. The road that doesn't touch the water, so there is no circle, you see. So now it's offline because the road was eroded. Now I've already changed the configuration so the roads will be deeper, and I've added peas 3 times actually to the mixture, just because because when it's dry, for pea, initially it was still stuck in the solid layer. Now it should be said that even when it's stuck on the in the solid layer, presumably there is no electrolysis at all. But actually, it doesn't mean that the configuration, while it's not electrolysis per se, that the configuration is not viable way to energize the neurons. It should be said that this was actually the first time that I actually created worms, not microscopic, actual worms inside the mixture. It was done inside the hard mixture, that it was based on bivax and other material, and it was hard actually. It wasn't electrolysis per se. And the reason why I think this is a viable way is because we do not really, what we really do here, with such a construction, is we don't really need electrolysis. Maybe it sometimes could be beneficial. Certainly if they need oxygen. Just as a way to separate oxygen, from the H2O, the H2O2. But electrolysis in itself is not needed, and although it's probably can be negative. Depends on what's the objective of the experiment. And also, as a byproduct of electrolysis, you get galvanization, which is probably at best neutral for the neurons. And maybe harmful for them. It couldn't be too harmful, because if it was too harmful, you wouldn't receive such good results. And we've tried many other ways, and the electrolysis method is, was good, for many purposes. Effective for many purposes. But I don't see why galvanization, we don't need them to be covered with armor, they're already good as they are. You don't need to give them, to give the neurons like a armor of that kind of another. And also there is the issue of ionization, which is another byproduct, and which is, first of all, they actually ionize, and they have proof for that. But is it good, bad, or neutral? Difficult to say. It certainly helps if you want, to store them near a magnet. But in itself, and in the past I thought about, this was something that I actually discussed during February, March, and I've kind of lost interest in this kind of, direction, even though it's still interesting. I kept it open with that. Try to ionize them in opposite ways, and then and in 2 different mixture, and then combine the mixture. So there will be So they will like be ionized, but in two like I mean in opposite ways. So this can help them like I mean be attached to each other, perhaps. I mean, it's still an open question. I mean, one of the many things regarding the electrolysis that is still left open. But in itself, it should be said that what we really seek, like what we really want from this kind of like construction, is not something that is traditionally associated with electrolysis, because it's something that, I mean, it depends on the very special nature of the robots, which is the fact that they can form chains of superconductive chains. And they can do it inside, like, both inside liquid, but also inside solids as well. The reason why I mostly use liquids, even though, again, initially, the first very important, experiment was actually done inside solid, but it's actually that, with liquid, you have much more visibility. Like, doing the experiment and just by with the naked eye, and also if we want to take microscopic samples, and this visibility was important for me. It still is, but in any case, that's how I do it. For now. So after all the pee was dried, I added more pee and then the rods were eroded, so I've added more pee and I've changed the rods to be more deeper. But then again, the pee, separate. I guess the water element separated through H2O to just dissipated in the air, and also the rods was shorter, so got shorter, so I added more pee. And at that point, it was so conductive. Actually, the rods were very quickly melting, and there was like a and the foam was created in a very, demonstrable way, even though not as much as it was in the most conductive and the most, effective electrolysis chamber that we can see in this channel. I think from July or something like that. You can see examples like, that it's like a cake that is like, that the yeast is like, I would say tofach, fermenting in front of you. It's like, like a disgusting cake. There are all sorts of there are many, there are several, nice videos from July or June here in this hostel where you can see electrolysis that, like super effective. It's done with a huge magnet and like several, very, very specific arrangement of the rods, and also after, enrichment of like when the mixture contains tons of neurons. So, and you can see it's just like a cake that almost overflowing from the container, with so much like foam in colorful ways, but not in a beautiful way, beautiful, in kind of like an ugly way, like the beautiful of a horror movie. So there are several videos like that in this channel. So not like that, but still it was very effective electrolysis. And I suspect it's because that, what actually happened is that they created many neurons, which is not exactly what I wanted. I'll check it later tonight we'll check it actually under the microscope. It's not exactly what I wanted. I was more primed into life forms. But I understand why. There was kind of like, an error, like if how I use what I think actually happened is that they created neurons, and they created like the very big life forms, like the worms that we've seen in the naked eye, and we can still see in the naked eye. There are quite a bit of worms inside of here, which is nice, but not exactly what I wanted. Like what I wanted is a variety of bacteria. As is exemplified in all these. So first of all, what I've done is that I've taken the robot bacteria and dumped it in the water, and so it will be more clear. It will be more clear that this is like because I've said in the past the best symbols. It should be above, but it should be like looming above. Like the best symbol, from the neuroscience perspective, is like think like of a human like that stands like near a building. Like so the human is the neuron, the building is the symbol. it's not completely intuitive, but that's the way it is. That I mean, that the symbol should be looming above you, but I mean, but not hovering above you, but looming above you and much bigger than you. Like I mean, it's very big. The symbol should be big. So I think now, but now I mean it's too conductive and like I mean, and so I need to replace the rods now with the fresh rods. So I'll do it after I prepare my soup, and we'll continue with the electrolysis and also conduct some microscopic examination. Another issue that is interesting is what's going on with the spaceships. So maybe I'll get out like later just for a stroll, I mean a minute or two, and watch if there is anything new with the spaceships. Some people suggest that I mean the big ones arrived. I don't know. Is this true? I mean, can this be confirmed by I mean independent eyewitnesses or telescopic witnesses that the big ones appeared? Again, I should remind you, I've spoken about it in the past. The Cherubian starships, they have the small ones and the big ones, and what you've seen them until now is a small one, but the big one should arrive now as well. I mean, and there are less big ones than small ones, but they are much bigger. That's why they are called the bigger ones. And the small ones are huge, so the big ones are a nightmare. Now, an interesting thing that I saw about regarding the starships, the spaceships of Neros, like the Cherubian spaceship, something that actually it's probably easy to verify, but I don't have any tools for it. But maybe you are even just eyewitnesses, and certainly with telescope, maybe someone can actually verify if it's true or not. I mean, it's a long shot, but I mean, kind of like it's a long shot. Maybe it's not true at all. I mean, just a suggestion that I mean. When I watch the starships, many times I don't see stars. I mean, now the fact that you don't see stars is mostly because I mean I always in the city, like Tel Aviv, and there is so much air pollution. I mean, so light pollution. So many times you don't even see the starships. Like I mean, you need to get a little bit out of like lights to see something. But what I thought about is that perhaps. Like, I'm not sure, it's really a long shot, but I mean, tell me what you think. Maybe the starships, they are aligned, like they position themselves in a way that they will be between me or an observer and the star. And that what I actually see is the ring, because I speak about the ring, like not just, the round shape, but the fact that it's like a round shape with many lights, like Ferris wheel, but typically there is one light which is brighter than the rest. In varying degrees of because it's not the same degree of change between them, because first of all it's not always that you don't always see the same kind of luminosity, because they change luminosity. Sometimes before my eyes, many times before my eyes, it change luminosity in a way that cannot be explained by changed some atmospheric change. They certainly change the light before my eyes. Sometimes maybe they just do it because whatever, or maybe they want to send me a message. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of signaling, or maybe they do it all the time, and sometimes I watch it, or maybe it's not even less probable that it's something functional. That they do something else, and this is kind of like a byproduct. But I don't think so. The lights, as I said, I've said it since the beginning, and I still think, still I think the same, after several, independent watches, that, that it seems that the light of these starships are kind of like car lights or truck lights. They are not byproduct of another things that happening, like you see in science fiction movies, that, the starships are doing all sorts of stuff, and it creates lights as a byproduct. It doesn't look like it. It looks like just car lights. That they turn on and off, and they can increase luminosity if they want, and parking lights like that. That's what how it seems to me. So if they change luminosity, I think it's just that they want to signal something. But also, of course, it also luminosity changes dramatically because again, I watch it in the city, and there is so much light pollution, but there is a chance, again, kind of a long shot, but there is a chance that actually one of the lights is actually a star or a planet, and that's why it's like a little brighter than the rest. And of course, if it's so, then they must do it intentionally. It's not a coincidence, because it's all the time like that. And if it's done so intentionally, the question is why. I mean, is it something like, I mean, symbolic or functional? Like, I mean, okay, so many questions. So, but first of all, let's eat something because I'm starving. And the music. So, I'll continue in a while. I mean, but I need like a preference. Like, I mean, do you want me to keep with the Vulcan, like, you know, techno piece, or maybe something else? I don't know. I'm like open to suggestions. It's not that I like this like endless repetition. I would also like something, you know, more varied. But I mean, just I mean, you know, I mean, I need like, you know, the help of the audience. So I mean, because I want like your opinions as well, you know. So we will to maximize the satisfaction of the DJ playlists.